Hey everyone, this is Yami, your Latina next door. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've done a Dollar Tree DIY, and honestly, I've had this vision for the longest time. However, I was not able to find the supplies until recently. So I'm really excited to share this beautiful greenery arrangement. It is pretty big. It's 16 inches tall by 12 inches wide. It goes perfect with the Coastal Farmhouse theme that I love so much. It looks like something you would find at Home Goods, Kirkland's, even at Pier 1. It's really easy to make, so if you're interested in learning how to make this yourself, please keep watching. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need are 3 of these little frames from your local Dollar Tree. You're going to use these for their frames. They're pretty solid, so just flip them over and start removing the canvas prints. Alright, so once you've removed all of the canvases, you are going to put them together. Now make sure that all of these staples are facing in when you do so. I used E6000 to hold them together and then added 4 dots of hot glue on each of the corners in order to hold it while the E6000 dried. Once it was dry, I took the Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in White Adirondack and I gave it one nice coat. I also painted the top border as well. Now, I'm not sure what happened to the footage, but I took some of Martha Stewart's craft paint in tilled soil, and what I did was water it down a little bit and then painted a ton of those Dollar Tree popsicles. I ended up using 16 of those popsicle sticks, but I did do more in case I messed up any of them while I was cutting them down. Now, once they were dried, I took one of my little cutting mats and I put them up on the corners. I know I wanted them on the corners and on the top of this box, so I basically measured them out. I marked them with a box cutter, and then I came back and marked them again and cut them with scissors along those score lines to have nice clean cuts. Then I began hot gluing them to the corners. What I did was I placed one down first, making sure that it was lined up perfectly with the top of the box. Then I went over with the second one and made sure to cover that seam. I did this to all 4 corners, and then I started adding the top ones. I started with the ones on the ends first, again making sure that those little seams and corners where the other 2 came together were covered by the top popsicle stick. Then I did the same thing along the longer sides. I used 3 popsicle sticks on each side. Then I placed the box on some Dollar Tree foam board and traced the inside walls of it out. I cut 2 of these pieces, and yes, that's the same foam board I used to spray paint my kitchen hinges. I took one of the pieces and glued it on the inside bottom of the box. I flipped the box over and then I cut some floral foam that I had left over from Dollar Tree and placed it inside of the box. Then I took the other foam board piece and secured it to the top with some hot glue. Then I use some Mod Podge Ultra. You can totally use the regular Mod Podge. I just happen to have this on hand, and I sprayed the entire top of that foam board. Dollar Tree has sand, but I use sand from our last beach trip, and I spread it around on top of the Mod Podge and then kept spraying the Mod Podge throughout, making sure it was completely covered and sealed. Then it was finally time for the greenery. I took some of Dollar Tree's onion grass and I had 4 of these little bushes. I took all of the inner stems out of the bush, but I left the one that actually covered them around alone. I did not use that part. Then I took a paper clip and opened it halfway. The unopened part of the paper clip I inserted and secured with hot glue inside of the little grass stem. Then I added a little bit of hot glue to the bottom of the grass stem and used the open end of the paper clip to poke through the foam board and into the floral foam. Once I knew the direction I was going, I decided to go ahead and poke all of the holes down the center of the little box where I knew I wanted to insert the grass pieces. Then I proceeded to add the rest of the grass. Now, the sand was still a little bit wet at this point, but I preferred it because at this point, if any of it shifted or if I wanted to cover the bases of it, I can actually manipulate the sand to go around these individual grass pieces. I then added a second layer of grass, making sure to stagger them in between the row behind them. And then after that, if I had any left over, I think I had about 5, I just put them in places where I thought it needed it the most, and that was it for the grass. The last thing I did was take these white rocks from Dollar Tree that I had left over from another project and just hot glue them down through the front of the grass, around and in between. And that's it. This is the finished product. I love how this turned out. The rocks and the sand give it that perfect coastal feel, while the 3 individual frames give it that shiplap look. The popsicle sticks have that nice weathered and driftwood looking appearance. The tall onion grass reminds me of beach grass that you find on the dunes of a beach. The best thing about this, in my opinion, is that it has that coastal feel, but it does not scream themey, if you know what I mean. I'd love to know your thoughts. Please give this a like if you love this arrangement as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you wish to see more DIYs like this. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, adios.